Greetings and welcome, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, to episode 299 of the Words About Games podcast, the weekly news, culture, and gaming podcast for words about games. I'm your host, Amy K. Alexander, joined this week by the insulated one. It's Mr. Daff and Moody. How you doing?
I am not bad. It's Monday. You know what that means, everyone. It's video game discussion time.
It's time to talk about video games, but not really talk about video games, because those are all of our other videos.
Yes.
Time
to talk about the video game industry. It hasn't burnt down yet.
I ran out of matches. Sorry about that. I'm on it, okay? Turns out you need those big matches, those like long ones.
The really, really long ones.
Yeah. Kind of the little tiny little matches that cost 35p, they don't cut it.
Don't cut it.
No.
They don't cut it.
Fuck. How's it going, Rudy?
I ain't bad. Not bad at all. Like I said before off stream, only 8 weeks left and I'm done with college. And I'm kinda happy about that, I'm not gonna lie.
That's fair.
Kinda happy. Yeah.
We've talked about your college experience and
that's all this last year, yeah.
And how things have been going, and like it's nice that there's a finish line. Like you got the light at the end of the tunnel.
I see a light. There is a light.
I see a light.
It's getting ever closer. It's ever getting closer.
That's good.
I don't know if it's a good thing, Amy.
Can you hear like choo choo in the distance?
Well, I'm pretty deaf half the time, so probably not right now.
You got your headphones in, just like, and then you trip a little bit, and you're like, "Oh, that's weird. I'm walking down railway tracks." I'm sure it's nothing. Oh, look, the light at the end of a tunnel. Get it?
Why is that light coming? Ah!
Wait, that's coming closer. Wait, it's coming closer really fast. What's that I hear? Get out of the way, dickhead. Ow.
Get out of you top of Lord.
No.
I'm insulting myself.
You call yourself a dickhead, but you can't call yourself Tub of Lord. I refuse to allow it. Some things are just over the line.
But I said it, so it's not over the line.
Well, I'm not letting you say that about yourself. So there.
All right.
So there. Only I'm allowed to insult you on this podcast. Well, if I'd said that about me, you would have had the same reaction. So no, I win.
But you're not a total lad.
Yeah, exactly. Neither are you. Shut up.
Yeah.
Don't make me come over there.
I'll pull the curtains back.
This is all just an elaborate set I've built just outside your house. Like.
Green screen in your car. Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm wearing a jumper, because it's a bit nippy.
It is nippy.
It is nippy. Like I went to the gym today. And I got out of the gym and I was like, fucking boiling here. And I got out and I put my sunglasses on. And then I was like, 2 seconds, I was like, fucking hell, it's cold.
It's not really cold.
Never thought I'd be like putting my hoodie on like immediately after like running around treadmill for like an hour. And it's just like, Jesus Christ, what's going on? I was at the beach 8 days ago.
You were.
I'm not letting this go. Like, I'll never complain about it being cold. I'll always complain about it being hot, but I'll never complain about it being cold. And but like, I just wish it was like consistent, Like, I feel like we've had every season possible in the last 8 days.
Pretty much. Like there was one day where it rained, hailed, snowed, then came sunny all in one day.
Oh yeah, right. I was meeting someone. I know exactly what day you're talking about. I was meeting someone and I walked from the bus station down to the train station. because I was meeting them at the Starbucks next to the train station, and it was sunny as fucking out. Like, again, sunglasses on, just walking down, like, it's not warm, but it's mild, but the sun's out, so it's nice outside. And then I got to Starbucks, sat down, met them, they finished their cup of hot chocolate. We walked outside, we got halfway up the street, it started snowing. Not a little bit either. It started proper belting snow down. We ended up hiding in McDonald's. Just like, what the fuck's going on, man? I mean, I know what's going on, and I could answer that question myself, but hey, what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Nothing.
Nothing. We're going to do nothing, apparently. Like, let's just let it happen.
We are. We are letting it happen.
We sure are. I wonder if there's anyone out there watching this podcast or listening to it who's like, wait, what are they talking about? Well, like, what happened? Oh, I do. Yeah.
Exactly.
Educate yourself, I guess.
Education.
I got nothing for you at this point.
No, do I. Bit crazy.
Yeah.
It's been really weird. It's been a really weak. Really weak.
Yeah.
Is that
like,
words? Is that a sentence?
It is now. We made it a sentence.
I've made it a sentence. Yeah.
It's for me an up and down week for me, I think. But like in no monumental ways, right? It's just been like, like did some stuff that was fun with friends. We played Faz last night. It was fucking awesome.
It was indeed.
Some other stuff I'm not going to bring up on the podcast because I'm not going to bring my whole life up on the podcast. But then it's like, everything else that's been going on in the week is just like, oh, fucking Christ, dear God.
Pretty much. It really is.
Why do we let the rich people
be rich?
exist? I feel like at this point, like, I don't know. Like, it's wild, isn't it? Like, so few people can ruin so many lives or days or whatever. Like, I mean, I don't even know if I can afford to have all these lights on behind me anymore.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
That is pretty much.
It's too many lights. It's too many lights.
I'm afraid to turn the heating on, as you can tell.
It's a good goal. Like, my like streaming, podcasting, recording setup is basically doubling as my heating. So, I'm doing all right.
You're doing all right, yeah.
It's warm enough.
It's like we're only 4 months into the bloody new year. We're 25% through, and it's like first 4 months have been crazy. They really have been a bit crazy.
Do you remember?
Like at this moment in time, there's a war going on right now.
There's a war going on. 1 million people caught COVID in the UK last week.
Prices have shot up.
Everything is becoming unaffordable.
Yeah.
Marginalized communities, all marginalized communities, it seems like, are currently again. I'm just referencing the UK, but I'm sure this is worldwide. Are just like getting the shit kicked out of them, and I'm not even really talking metaphorically. Do you remember at the end of 2020 when it was like, hey, everybody was trying to manifest like a better 2021? Like we were just all naive and thought, new year, new me. Like everything can't get any worse, surely.
I'm not gonna lie, that like for me, this year has been better than last year.
Sure.
But
That's fine.
It's still a shit show at the same time.
It's a fucking shit show. Like,
it's crazy.
I wonder if that. I mean, I know for you personally, this year is always going to be better than last year, and that's totally fair, and I respect that.
Touch wood.
But I wonder... wood. I'm finding wood. Here we go. I wonder if, like... Well, everything's still a shit show, but, like, I wonder if it's just Stockholm Syndrome. We're just used to it. Like, it's probably a bigger shit show than last year, but like the bar was lowered so much that like it doesn't feel that much worse.
The bar was so low. That's what happens when it's been 10 plus years of Tory rule.
All right.
The bar is just so low. Like it's like we're so numb to the pain now. It's just like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, pretty
whatever.
much. I did appreciate the video of Rishi Sunak trying to pay for petrol.
I enjoyed the video of him trying to say, "I'm in the same position as you," to a single mother who's looking after 2 or 3 kids, and saying, "I have kids as well."
Well,
there's a bit of an asterisk there, though, mate.
I have kids as well. We've all got to. We're all gonna suffer from these price rises equally. Like the thing is, right? Fucking Tories, right? And I said my piece on Twitter. At some point during the whole conversion therapy ban thing, so like I'm about to say something that's gonna piss off anyone who like is a Tory, but like I would hope you're not here anyway, and if you are, you can fuck off and leave. It's just like the thing about I forgot what I was gonna say after making that caveat. The thing about Tories is, and like shit people in general is like they just say whatever they want and get away with it. Like they just lie all the time.
They lie every day, yeah.
Like they just make whatever shit comes into their head first, right? They're just like, yeah, that sounds good, and then they'll say it, and like people will be like, that's not true, or that's not correct, and it doesn't matter because enough people just buy it. Oh well,
really
he must know what he's talking about. He's the health minister, like that somehow conveys like expertise, like.
Yeah, our health minister's a banker. Guys.
Yeah, our health
He's
minister is a banker. Our chancellor doesn't know how to use a debit card. I mean, I'm just saying, if I was writing this, right, because, I've done a writing degree, I've done fiction writing before, and if I wrote this script for 2022 so far, right, I would read it back and think, I don't know, like, this is a bit much. Like, this seems to be stretching it a bit. I think I need to tone it down a little bit here. Like this is a bit on the nose.
Yeah, it's I'll never not say my piece when it comes to the Tories at all. So like I'll say this like I've always said it to pretty much. I say it at least once a month, but I'll say it to you because I don't think I've said it yet this month. Fuck the Tories, and if you vote for the Tories, fuck you as well. I will not help you in any state whatsoever because you are actively harming millions of people with your vote.
Yeah.
You voted for liars.
Like, you'll see people who clearly voted Tory, and they'll be like, oh, imagine, like, cutting people out of your life or stopping being friends with people because of politics. And I just sit here, like, under the boot of the government, like, that is on my throat, metaphorically speaking. Just being like, it must be really nice for you to be able to, like, to have your life be, like, minimally affected by this stuff, right? So that you could actually say that. Well, I'm choking to death.
With what happened last week or, like, the week before, with the announcement of one of their members, I was literally thinking that person is not going to be there that long.
The chain of events was last week was fucking ridiculous. Like even to
really
me,
was.
Like he had the whole thing kicked off at the beginning of the week. Could a woman have a penis? And then then Boris Johnson stands up and does a speech, and he starts his speech off making like a fucking transphobic joke, and then like hours later, one of his MPs comes out as trans, and he stands up in the Houses of Parliament, and he's like, oh, we'll support you however we want, like however we can. Turns around a day later and is like, but we're not going to ban conversion therapy. And then turns around a few hours later and goes, but we are, but not for trans people. And you just like, my head is spinning. Like, what's happening in this country?
It makes, yeah.
I can't deal with like, oh God.
It's the craziest thing ever. It really is.
I got
Like, it
nothing for
really,
you. Like,
really is. It's bonkers. It is absolutely bonkers. But no, we're not here to talk
we're
about
not
the
here to
Tories
talk
and
about
all
the Tories and
politics
politics. Like,
because we've just scared everyone
it could
away.
take
So.
it could take the entire 2 hours just for me to like wrap my head around the events of the past
that
week.
whole event, yeah.
That whole chain, just that whole chain of events. But instead, let's start the show. This is the Words About Games podcast. Every Monday, you can get the video version of the show on youtube.com/wordsaboutgamesuk, or you can get an audio version on a variety of platforms, including Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and a few platforms that we've never even heard of. There's timestamps in the description wherever you choose to get your podcasts, so you can see what we've been chatting about. Skip around if you don't want to listen to the political talk, although I guess it's too late now if you're listening to this part of the podcast. Or you can watch the entire podcast backwards if you like. We don't mind. We're just happy that you're here. If you'd like to support the show or our content directly, you can buy us coffee over at I don't know how to say this website, because it's like ko-fi.com/wordsaboutgames, or do you say the letters ko-fi.com?
Isn't it just,
or do you just say coffee? Because then it's like, but there's a dash.
isn't it just like sci-fi, ko-fi.com?
Ko-fi? Well, it's supposed to be coffee, right? Like, because that's what you do. You buy people a coffee. ko-fi.com/wordsaboutgames. The link's in the description. Lastly, if you want to hang out with us while we play some games, head over to twitch.tv/wordsaboutgames. And if you want to hear us talk about and review some video games, we publish reviews fairly regularly on our YouTube channel. I was writing one just before we started recording. That's good. Played a video game this weekend. That wasn't Elden Ring, Moody. Imagine my surprise. But let's dive into it. We've got some news to talk about, and the first news story is E3 won't have a digital show this year either. This is from Brendan Sinclair over at GamesIndustry.biz. He writes, the Electronic Entertainment Expo is taking 2022 off entirely, according to multiple reports. Quote, just got an email, it's official, E3 Digital is officially cancelled for 2022, end quote. Razer PR lead Will Powers posted on Twitter. A representative of the Organizing Entertainment Software Association did not return a request for comment, but IGN has since said it independently verified the cancellation. Excuse me. The ESA originally called off the in-person component of E3 2022 in January, but said it was, quote, excited about the future of E3, end quote, and told people to expect more announcements soon. The last time the ESA completely cancelled E3 was after the pandemic started in 2020. Last year, the trade group brought back E3, but only as a virtual event taking place in June. And then there was an update, which basically is E3 will return in 2023. Officially, it's not happening in 2022. I wrote a couple of notes at the end of here. Number one, Jeff Keighley confirmed that the Summer Game Fest is still going ahead this year. Number two, the PC gaming show has been announced and is still going ahead despite a lack of E3. So summer is still happening. Like, a gaming summer is still on the cards. E3 is just again chosen to bow out for some reason.
E3 really have no idea. They've taken a battering. They were taking a battering before the pandemic, and when the pandemic came around, they literally just got dropped. They were literally powerbombed through multiple tables, and they still haven't got back up yet.
It's a wrestling thing, right?
Wrestling thing indeed, Amy. Wrestling thing indeed. I hope everyone is enjoying WrestleMania over this weekend, and I hope everyone enjoyed Ring of Honor, because that was pretty cool. I enjoyed that. But yes, they haven't recovered, and they still haven't recovered. Then they did their thing last year, which was heavily criticized and heavily panned by, I think, pretty much everyone that I heard got involved in it or bought the pass or whatever and got whatever they did to get.
Yeah, you bought a pass to get like insider access and stuff, didn't you?
Yeah, I think so.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, and I think like they were heavily criticized for just what was in it, a part of it and everything, especially with the amount of money I think people paid for it. And they haven't recovered, and we've been saying it for years, but I think it's literally like it is literally on life support. E3. It's if it ain't dead yet, it's literally on life support. I know, like does it state? Pretty sure they said that they will return next year. You said this last year, guys. You said this last year.
Yeah, it's like so. You can like let anything that went wrong and didn't happen in 2020. You can like forgive and understand, right? Because 2020 just went fucking haywire almost immediately. So like you go, E3 is not happening in 2020. Fair enough. Like 2020 was a fucking disaster zone. And then they came back in 2021. I don't know what the crack was with any of the behind the scenes stuff or like the industry insider access stuff. All I know about is obviously the shows that were on. And so like from my own perspective, E3 was fine, but nothing spectacular. But like I generally find that that's true of all E3s. And I don't know if people remember this, but Summer Game Fest 2020 lasted for 4 months. That was way too long. We were all burned out by July, and we had to get to August with that shit. But like, I don't know, like, I can't believe it. Like, I know people talked about like, oh yeah, no, there's rumors swirling around E3 is not going to happen in 2022, and I was like, surely, because there's no reason for it not to happen in 2022. Like, if you're going to take a year off to come back stronger in 2023, like, you say it's on life support, Moody, but I'm like, the ESA feels like it's pulling the plug on the life support with this announcement. Like, Jeff Keighley exists and is going to do another Summer Games Fest, and the Summer Games Fest last year was a lot better than the Summer Games Fest in 2020.
And hopefully that means hopefully this year he's listened to the criticism of last year and shortened his 2-hour freaking show he did. So that was way too long.
It was, but it ended with Elden.
Just to get to Elden. I'm sorry, but just to get to one game ain't enough. I'm sorry.
All right. It's like all these trade shows are too long. Like there's only a couple that I feel like I've hit the sweet spot of like length, and that's Nintendo with their Direct. Always. I've never sat through a Direct and gone, well, that was way too long. And I think like a couple of the indie ones like know what they're doing, like with timing and stuff. Like the Wholesome Games Directs are always really good. And I never feel like I'm sitting there for ages. But like E3 wasn't in a great place before 2020. Like let's just throw that right out there right now. And we were reading. I remember reading in 2019 their plans for what they were gonna do for E3 2020 with you on this podcast. Which sounded baffling.
Yeah,
like they sounded horrendous.
If I remember rightly, it was we want to get more of the content creators involved, and everyone was like, "No, we don't want any of that. Keep those fuckers away from the place."
Yeah, they wanted to get it like more online because that's where everything was going, which is fair enough. That's because most people consume E3 online. But it was like, let's get content creators involved, and there's going to be like, wasn't there going to be like a basketball thing going on there or something like? And there was all sorts of weird shit where it was just like, no, you're diluting the thing that people want from E3, which is video games. Like that's all people want from E3. They want video games and they want memes. That's it. So the two things you need to provide. And you were like trying to provide like these 12 other things in between like the video games and the memes, and it's like, how are you fucking this up this badly? So I think it was kind of a blessing in disguise that E3 didn't happen in 2020 for E3. And like last year's thing was fine. It was whatever.
Yeah, they were all just fine. Yeah, last year, like there's no standout, real standout show really of since the pandemic started or anything like that. And I know like they're still all evolving. They're still trying to understand what's happening and trying to get on top of like doing digital events and everything. Sure. Thankfully, like you've already said, Nintendo I think are the only ones who have really properly nailed it. I don't think they've really had a blow us away type of stream yet. But like they've been the one,
not recently.
Yeah, but they do it in such a consistent way. PlayStation, I think, are slowly getting there, but like when they've done their individual ones, I think I've kind of enjoyed them. I enjoyed the one for The Last of Us Part 2. I enjoyed the one for Ghost of Tsushima, and I enjoyed the one for Horizon Zero Dawn. But there's still like, it's just like, where's the knockout blow for us to come back and go type of thing? And we're still waiting for that from all of them, really.
The PlayStation 5 showcase in 2020 was really good.
Yes, yes,
was
because
really good.
Yes.
But everything else is just washed over me. Like,
Yeah.
and like they haven't nailed it the way that they've nailed E3, because when they did E3 conferences, like they were the masters of the E3 press conference before they
were.
pulled out. And like they haven't really nailed it with the state of players. Like for me now, like I barely watch state of players anymore. Like I'm just throwing that out there right now. It's like we're gonna have a state of play. It's gonna be 20 minutes long with all these games. I'm just gonna do something else.
Let's just be frank. The last one they did was boring.
It was all right, I guess. I suppose. Like, it's not the games themselves that are showcased, because they showcase some cool games. It's literally the way that they're presented in. For me personally, and hey, Xbox are in the same boat. Like, nothing they have done in the past few years has ever risen above fine for me. So I don't know, like that. I think both companies need to work on their presentations. Not the content of their presentations, but the way that they present their video games. And I think E3 needs to do the same thing. Like, unless E3 are going away, to come back in 2023, to do whatever it takes to get everybody back together for E3. Like, what's even the point of E3 anymore? When Jeff Keighley can put something together.
Yeah, that's the thing about it. Like, Jeff Keighley, love or hate him, like, and I think it's fair to say we are both very mixed on how he does certain things. There's no doubt about that.
One way to put it.
he. I was being very politically nice there, I think.
I'm just gonna drink my water
because of I think if we dived into it, we'd be here for another 2 hours. But no. Like he brought us kind of all together in 2020 when when E3 was cancelled, the whole thing was happening with the pandemic. Yes, by the end of it, we were just like, oh my god, this is 4 months. What the hell's going on? Type of thing.
Yeah.
And I think like multiple times we were like saying, where's PlayStation? Where's PlayStation? Why haven't PlayStation showed themselves yet? What's going on, PlayStation? Type of thing, while we're all in the pandemic.
You're releasing a console. Where are you?
Yeah, show the fucking thing, type of thing. But he kind of brought us all together to come to like be like, yeah, games and everything, and he really put us. I think he really did the overall great job in doing that, bringing us all together. But yes, just how he spread it out was terrible. But then, like, love or hate the Game Awards, millions and millions of people watch that freaking thing a year.
I mean,
like, he brings so many people in. He outshoots E3 every year, and like it was like obviously like they decided they wanted to go in a different way in 2019, but not 2019, 2020 before the whole thing went like I've already stated. But for me, E3, if you want to survive, literally just get back on board with Jeff Keighley, because you were doing good stuff before. Like, I watched the stuff where he was on when he was doing E3 presentations, brought on people. He brought on like game journalists or high profile content creators, and they always had good conversations and everything, and I really enjoyed that. And now it's just like they want to go. They probably want to try and get the Logan Pauls and all that, and the KSIs and all that crap. And the E3 that's probably what E3 would on. And Jeff Keighley was like, no, you're taking it all away and thinking all about them instead of the games. And at least he does, for the most part, do a focus on the games. He just doesn't call out shit at the same time he can't. He just can't, and he won't. He doesn't want to hurt his precious little thing because he knows he's in a very privileged position at the same time. One small slip will literally get the biggest companies to tell him to piss off and say, we're not going to help you. We're not being at your award shows. We won't allow you to talk about our games or anything like that. They could literally gag him, and he knows this. That's why it's a stupid thing, but I can see why he's doing it. But yeah, E3, if you want to live, get back on board with Jeff Keighley for me.
No, like, I mean, it's fair. That's one opinion, and I respect that opinion. But E3 doesn't need Jeff Keighley. Like, E3 just needs to fucking, because, like, you know, E3 has existed long before Jeff Keighley was the guy that brought all of the game adverts to us. Get everybody back together. Have press conferences, right? And they don't have to be actually like in the theaters and with the stage shows and whatnot. Let everybody just do their own thing. Like there are so many barriers put up that people like PlayStation and EA and Nintendo just went, nah, we're good. See you later. Like we'll do our own thing, and it works for them for the most part. Like, so what? Like the ESA just needs to do whatever it can to pull everybody back together and to make E3 a celebration of all video games.
Yeah,
that's it. It's simple. Yeah. Normally, the solutions to these things are really complicated, and I'm sure it's not as simple as just like giving everybody a call. What do you want? What do you want? Like, I've seen people talk about the the astronomical prices for like actually being at E3, like companies to actually be at E3. Apparently, the prices are astronomical from what I've read, and it's just like lower the prices then. Like lower the prices. You're only going to be able to trade on the name E3 for so long before it doesn't mean as much anymore. And especially if you keep taking every other year off, like, because you're going to lose relevance very quickly the way that it's going right now.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Like right now, we say around E3 still because that was the only time when companies decided to release games around the due time area. But eventually, it'll be the Summer Games Fest area.
Yeah,
and E3, I think like we're pretty close to like where like it's if either they're on life support or they've just pulled the life support type of thing. And yeah, like either way, they need to do something. There's no doubt about it. Definitely change the prices, but they need to come to they do need to just go, yo, big companies, we need to talk.
Yeah, like whatever.
What can we do? We got to try and come back together, not only for yourselves, not only for us, but also for the fans. Because at the end of the day, this is one of the biggest commercial things out there where it can not only just help E3, but it can also help yourselves. What can we do to do things better and everything? But
pretty much like whatever is in the way of companies like EA and PlayStation coming back into the fold, just get it out of the way, and keep the other stuff as well. Like keep all of the cool indie game showcases that have sprung up in the past couple of years. Like keep all of the smaller stuff. Like make it a big celebration of all games.
Yeah, I think you can do. Yeah, there's enough space for everybody. There's no doubt about that.
Oh, definitely.
But what we'll say.
I'm sure we will.
I just remember years ago, I was literally thinking, I would love to go to E3. And I'm now just
I never wanted to go to E3.
I always went, I would love to go there. It'd be tiring.
Fair.
And I'll be knackered and everything. You got to remember, like, you knew about E3 way before I did. I didn't find out about E3 until 2023. Like I've stated many times when the PlayStation 4 was revealed and all
2013?
that. 2013, yeah.
You said 2023. I was he's a time traveler.
I'm a time traveler, yeah.
Guess that means E3's not dead.
Coming back, guys.
We're going back to the PlayStation 4 because we can't manufacture PlayStation 5s.
No, 2013.
I read some rumor article thing. I don't know when, but it was in the last few weeks where it was like, they're going to make a PlayStation 5 Pro. And I was like, motherfuckers can't even make PlayStation 5s. Like, are they going to sell another PlayStation? Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I think I saw that rumor, which is not a surprise that rumors of that are starting to come out. It's like 2 years now into the life cycle of the PlayStation 5. I know everything what you're saying is spot on. They can't even manufacture them now. But it's not a surprise that we're hearing those rumors. We'll hear. I will not be surprised.
Well, yeah,
if
it's
we
the
hear
Switch
rumors.
Pro. We'll hear fucking rumors about it until the day we're all fucking dead in the ground. But
yes, exactly.
Because like the Earth is going to burn up before the next console generation. But
exactly.
Like, I don't know. It's just like no one can ever be satisfied with what they've got, and in this case, what they can't even get a hold of.
Exactly.
It's 2022. You still can't buy a PlayStation 5. Barely buy an Xbox.
I got one.
I mean, I have both, but took some fucking work. Speaking of PlayStation, Sony unveils new PlayStation Plus options that combine Plus and Now together. This is from Wesley LeBlanc over at Game Informer. He writes, PlayStation has finally pulled back the curtains on its heavily rumored relaunch of PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now, and as expected, it combines Plus and Now benefits. Spread across 3 tiers, PlayStation Plus Essential, PlayStation Plus Extra, and PlayStation Plus Premium. One of these is basically what Plus has been for years. At the same time, the other 2 add in Now's backward compatibility features. All 3 tiers launched this June, although PlayStation did not reveal an official release date. So here's the 3. There's a breakdown of the 3 tiers that will be available in June. So you got PlayStation Plus Essential. I'm not going to go through the benefits. That is just PlayStation Plus as it currently exists. It's going to cost $9.99 a month, $24.99 a quarter, or $59.99 a year, which translates in the UK to $6.99, $19.99, or $49.99. Then you've got PlayStation Plus Extra, which includes all the benefits from the previous tier and adds a catalogue of up to 400 of the most enjoyable, their words, not mine, PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 games, including blockbuster hits from our PlayStation Studios catalogue and third-party partners. Games in the extra tier are downloadable for play. The pricing on this is $14.99 monthly, $39.99 quarterly, or $99.99 yearly. Which translates in the UK at $10.99, $31.99, or $83.99. Yikes. And then you get PlayStation Plus Premium, which is the top tier, which includes all of the previous benefits, adds up to 340 additional games, including PS3 games available via cloud streaming, a catalogue of beloved classic games available in both streaming and download options from the original PlayStation, PS2, and PSP generations, offers cloud streaming access for original PlayStation, PS2, PSP, and PS4 games offered in the extra and premium tiers in markets where PlayStation Now is currently available. Customers can stream games using PS4 and PS5 consoles and PC, and there it also includes time-limited game trials, which will also be offered, so customers can try select games before they buy. The pricing for this is $17.99 monthly, $49.99 quarterly, or $119.99 yearly, which translates in the UK as £13.49, £39.99, or £99.99. There's also a PlayStation Plus Deluxe, which will be available in select markets, which is basically premium, but at a lower price for people who can't stream, where streaming's not available. I'm going to hold off on the notes I've got at the bottom so we can discuss this bit first. What do you think? What are your thoughts?
What I thought it was going to be at the end of the day, that they would have certain things, all tier systems and everything. It sounds all right. Like, there's no doubt about it. I think whenever I get a PlayStation 5, I will probably just cop out to the premium one and just get that one straight away. And yeah, I think it sounds good. It all depends on like how many games of the PlayStation 2 and the PSP generation can get on there, and how is the PlayStation 3 games with the cloud technology going to work with that and everything.
Well, that's just PlayStation Now, which is something that someone pointed out to me that I did not consider when I originally read this, which is they just doubled the price of PlayStation Now. So like if you subscribe to PlayStation Now and actually like enjoy and use PlayStation Now, you don't have to pay double to access it, which I was like, damn.
Yeah, the pricing is a bit
fuck.
It's a bit bulky, there's no doubt about that.
Like all of those benefits that you're currently getting for whatever the price of PlayStation Now is, it's like, damn, now you gotta
premium's cheaper than Game Pass.
Yeah, premium doesn't offer the same as Game Pass, which we'll get into later. I'm just talking about there's people out there who just subscribe to PlayStation Now because they want to play PlayStation games on their PC and stream the games that are in the PlayStation Now category. Just got fucked.
Yeah, everyone gets fucked when a new thing comes across. There's no doubt. Someone gets fucked all the time.
I mean, so I don't even have PlayStation Plus right now. There's literally no benefit to it for me. Like, you get some free games. It's like, I guarantee the ones I would be interested in I've already played.
Yeah.
The last PlayStation Plus game I played was Destruction All Stars. So, I'm good.
Damn.
I'm good, thanks. Like I don't know, like it like for all the hype and everybody hyping up, like they're gonna reveal it this week, and like we even talked about it on the podcast last week, where it was like they're gonna
Yes.
reveal it this week. Like let's wait and see what it comes out with, and then it's like so. What's like yeah cool like you're going to include all of these numbers of games in all of these different tiers. Okay, which games? We're not going to tell you which games. Yeah, cool. Then like my opinion is I don't know. Like, is this good? No idea. Like it could be. It could not be. Like I don't know, shrug. It's cool that this is happening and like backwards compatibility is coming to PlayStation 5 consoles, PlayStation 4 consoles, I guess. But like, I don't know what's coming in backwards compatibility, so I can't really say like, yeah, this is gonna be great. Like, I'm gonna play all these cool games. It's just I'm very meh on it all right now.
I'm not surprised they didn't reveal what games were going to be in it.
Oh
me
no,
personally.
like obviously they're not going to come out with the list, but like that's kind of my point. It's just like this is for me. I don't want to say a nothing announcement because obviously it's not, because now it's an official thing and we've got prices for the different tiers. But it's very much a like I can just wait until the state of play where they talk about like what they're going to actually offer you, or the blog post or whatever they do to like announce the rest of it basically. Where it's just like I could have skipped over this like and waited and been fine with it. Like it's cool, but you know, how cool is it? No, I don't really know right now.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. From a certain point, there's no doubt about that. But at the same time, I think like this whole thing speaks to the PlayStation gamers, the ones who are all in that ecosystem, and congratulations, guys, girls, the non-binary people there. Like I hope you've got what you have really been screaming out for and everything, and that's fantastic if you have and everything. I think what live with them saying June, I think that basically confirms when we're going to see them next. It's either going to be May or June.
Oh, in May, yeah.
Yeah, May or June, something like that, for when they're going to speak again, and that's probably when they're potentially going to have their next big event, if they have a quote unquote big event
I don't
type
know
of
that
thing.
they will. Like, if we sit here under the assumption that God of War isn't coming out at the end of the year, it's like I don't know that there's a point in having a big event this summer. Whereas they could just have a state of play specifically for this, and then do a showcase like later on in the year. And that'll like because they've done that the last couple of years where they've had a showcase like towards the end, like later in the year, and then that's probably where you want to. That's probably where they would want to like be like, hey, like here's a better look at Spider-Man 2, and here's like God of War Ragnarok, and all the other games that have just left my mind.
Potentially, yes. There's no doubt about
and
that.
Knack 3, baby.
Yeah, didn't I hear they thingy that name or something like
It's
that?
somewhere in here.
Yeah. But no, yeah, it's yeah, well, we'll see what happens. What they decide, what they want to do with whenever they want to reveal something. If they want to reveal something, they are very precise. I think it's fair to say when they want to talk about something and everything.
Yeah.
Like the last one was all about the Japanese, the Asian side of the product of games that were coming out and everything, which probably was a great marketing ploy for in Asia and everything. But obviously, like over here in the Western audience, it was a bit dull for a lot of people.
Good for people who like those kind of games.
Yeah, there's something about it, like I said. But I think I'll be fascinated to see what they say next.
Yeah, like there's PlayStation are a company who have definitely in the recent past been guilty of revealing things far too soon.
Yeah.
So it is nice that they've started to shift towards like not like making us wait like 10 years for games. I mean, they're still not great at it. I don't think there's been a massive AAA PlayStation game that hasn't been delayed in the last few years, but they're getting better at it, so I can appreciate that.
I still think I do agree that there is. I would not be surprised if God of War Ragnarok is pushed till next year, But like I've said before, like they are like which everyone apparently why for some reason called them all out for. They've reused a lot of the assets from
That's how
from
game
God of
development
War.
works.
I know I was gonna.
No, I'm just saying it not to
No, no.
you. I'm just saying it out to the people there. I've lost my patience with people who are
That's
complaining
fair.
about reused assets. Like I heard it
Yeah.
all in Elden Ring. Oh, they're using all this stuff from Dark Souls 3. It's like that's how you make a fucking video game, you absolute losers. Wow, I'm coming in with some fire today.
You're coming in with some fire. Damn, girl, you go.
Patience is gone.
That's fine. But no, yeah, that's what if they like. So it would not surprise me if it did come fall 2022.
I mean, yeah, like, do I think it's coming in fall? Do I personally think it's coming in fall 2022? No. Would it shock me if it comes out in fall 2022? Also, no. Like, I don't expect it. But, like, it's not like a Breath of the Wild situation where I feel like I was just waiting for the delay announcement.
For the announcement,
yeah, it's like it might not have. Like, and I'm basing a lot of my opinion on whether God of War comes out, not on like the things that we've seen or like the state of the game and the last state of play. I'm literally basing it on the fact that, again, as I said, PlayStation delays all of their games every single time. Like, that's why I'm expecting them to delay this one.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Or lie. Our friend Elf, she's like, if it gets announced and this comes this year, she's like, like that in Fantasy Critic. I see you, Elf. I see you, Elf.
She might just about catch me up if it comes out.
Might, maybe. Yeah.
I got some notes. I got some notes. I want to read some Jim Ryan stuff. So there's 2 bullet points here. Let's read them both. Speaking on the latest PlayStation podcast, SIE President Jim Ryan confirmed that the platform holder is working on further deals to buy developers, and also from Ryan, quote, "The games that we make are getting bigger, they're getting better, they're getting more beautiful, they're getting richer, the narrative is getting stronger. This is really great, and gamers tell us this is what they really want from PlayStation." Now, I have to say, putting these games into a subscription service immediately upon their release would break this virtuous cycle. Okay. And we wouldn't be able to invest in the way that we're currently able to. So we're not doing it. We're going to stick to the approach that we've had and has served us well under many years now.
Ryan, just come out and be honest and just say
say
it. We want a double dip. We want a double dip. Just say it. It's not a shame just to say it. We don't want to put them in there.
We can't afford it. Like, just come out and say that the thing that we all know as games industry observers is true.
Yeah.
You can't afford to do that. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, there's no shame. It's honestly
Nobody
no
cares
shame whatsoever.
that bad.
Yeah.
I mean, there's plenty of fanboys, I'm sure, that are like, lol, then I can't even do a game. It's like, yeah, but like, you're going to pay that 70 quid for the game either way, PlayStation.
Exactly.
Players, so you know.
Exactly. But
yeah, they want a double dip too, yeah, obviously.
No doubt about it.
Because that's how the instant game collection works on PS5. You own the game even if it leaves the game collection. Like, you add it to your library. It's like PlayStation Plus in that way, as long as you've still got the subscription. So even if it leaves, you still own it. Yeah. So they'll get people coming in who, like when Horizon Forbidden West comes to PlayStation Plus, whichever tier it is, Essentials, like you'll get people subscribing to it just to own the game.
Yeah, and I will also would not be surprised if Horizon's not in by the end of the year.
We'll see.
Probably, but it's sold very well, so it's done very well. So
yeah, people buy games. Even Xbox has found that.
Yeah, I know. Like I say, Xbox doubled it themselves.
All the time.
They just market it as it's all in Game Pass.
Yeah,
but if you want to buy it still, you can still do it.
Their thing is Game Pass first. PlayStation's thing is buy the game first. Like, it's just 2 strategies, and obviously they're very different, like subscription tiers. Like, people keep comparing the new PlayStation Plus to Game Pass. That's the wrong move. You should be comparing it to Nintendo Switch Online, because that's the comparable subscription service here.
Yeah. And it flans Nintendo right easily, quite easily.
Yeah, it is better than that. Like, I could
By
say
a
that even
country
not knowing
mile.
what games are in the PlayStation Plus one. Like, I can say it. It's better than the
Yeah.
Nintendo's Switch one.
Watch this and only released 5 games and be like, fucking hell, PlayStation had one job.
One job, PlayStation. You couldn't even release anything that I wanted to play.
I'll say this, like, bigger. No, Ryan. No. More beautiful?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure.
Depends on the definition of beautiful, I guess, when it comes to this. Like, I think some pixel art games are far more breathtaking than 4K visuals and all like that. But I won't lie, Last of Us Part 2, it was a damn sexy ass game. And so was Horizon. And what I've seen of Elden Ring is a sexy ass game. I will never deny that. But
I mean, for me, art style will always trump graphics. But I get what he's trying to say with that.
No doubt about it.
Look at Ratchet. Look at Ratchet and Clank. Like,
yeah. Oh, Jesus, that's like, that is the stupidly beautiful. There's no doubt about it. Narrative, yes. Give us more narratives. Yeah, we love a good narrative. If you give us better, richer narratives, hell freaking yes. You want to go crazy like you did with The Last of Us Part 2? You bloody go there. You go there.
Richer? Sorry, I thought you were going to do each one. Huh.
Oh, richer.
They're getting richer. I mean, PlayStation is certainly getting richer. Like, look at those microtransactions in GT7.
Haven't they stamped that out? Haven't they?
They gave a lot of people a bunch of credits, and I think they're looking into fixing it. But like, let's not forget, they brought those microtransactions out and they were bad, and then they fixed it by making it worse before they made it better. And these are the guys who are going to release 10 live service games in the next 5 years. So I'm looking forward to that shit show.
I won't lie, like Joseph Moran, how you spoke about that, I think you sold both me and Amy on this. But with how they've acted on Gran Turismo, we're just like, hell no, come keep it away from this.
When me and Joseph talked about it on the podcast, it was kind of like a thing of like, I'm not opposed to it because they're not going to just make live service games, so I'll still get the narrative games that I want to get from PlayStation. But maybe something will pop in these live service games. And we had this really nice, cool, nuanced discussion, with the host of one of the best PlayStation podcasts on the internet. And then Gran Turismo 7 came out, and I just went, all right, nah, fuck that.
Because
he said the future.
He said transmedia, and it just sounded sexy. But no, we still love you, Joe. Don't worry. But yeah, sounds gay, I mean.
If GT7 is like an indication of where this is gonna go, like I'm out. I'm good. You fucking keep it. But hopefully they've learned lessons. Don't be so greedy. Or don't be so transparently greedy. I mean, we all, capitalism in it. Moody, it's halftime.
It's the halftime show of Indie Game of the Week, and it's a game that Mwa picked. Mwa? Me? Who? Me? Yes, me. Fashion Police Squad is a humorous retro first-person shooter where you fight against fashion crime using an array of enhanced weaponry. Clean the streets of socks in sandals as Sergeant Dez and experience a single-player a single-player story full of fabulous characters, dazzling encounters, and finesse runaway shows. Each fashion crime has a fashion solution, and you'll need to choose between your weapons carefully to fix each fashion flux pass.
Close enough.
Each enemy needs something, be it a splash of color or all the seams taken in. So you'll need to switch to and use the right weapons for the right situation. Picking the wrong weapon will do nothing to your enemies, so time to choose wisely. It is developed by Mopful Games and will be published by the amazing publisher that is No More Robots. It's coming to PC via Steam in 2022.
Links in the description. That was cool. I didn't have to do any work for Indie Game of the Week this week. You just dropped a link in the Discord halfway through the week, and I went, sorted.
We're just saving me a job. Yeah, I saw Mike tweeted this one out, and I was like, let's have a look. I like it. I like it a lot.
It's cool. I like the concept. I love a good, like, stupid, fun game, you know? Like,
yeah, it does just scream that out. Stupid and fun. What a weird concept.
I know, right? Some video games can be stupid and fun, and that's fine. Yeah, I know. Fashion Police Squad looks fun. Watched the trailer. Looked at the images. Screenshots. That's what they called. I was trying to think of the word screenshots. Read the text. Did the thing. Like, and I was like, cool. It's on my wish list. Let's do this. Is it on my wish list?
Let's do this.
I don't remember if I put it on, but it'll be on there by the time this podcast comes out, and it should be on yours as well.
It is.
Again, I'm talking past you to them.
Speaking to Bulbasaur, yeah?
Yeah, Bulbasaur. Come on, Bulbasaur. What the fuck are you doing? Get this game on your wish list. I haven't even seen your Steam wish list yet, Bulbasaur. Doing Indie Game of the Week all year.
And Sylvester Stallone.
You know what? I'm not gonna. You know, Sylvester Stallone. Just keep doing what you do, and I don't want you to punch me in the head. Yo, Sylvester, you suck. Bang.
Yo, Adrian.
Your Steam wishlist sucks, but oh shit.
Yo, Adrian. We did it.
Great
I got
movie.
a Steam list.
I've got a Steam wishlist. What a great film, though. Jesus.
Great film indeed. Great franchise. We just ignored the fifth one.
Yeah, I don't remember what.
When Stallone boycotts it all, like, we're good. If he says, "Nah, don't watch 5."
Fair enough. Let's get on with it.
Let's do this.
Let's get on. Part 2. State of Decay 3 report details troubled development. This is from Tom Phillips over at Eurogamer. He writes, a new report has shed light behind the scenes of State of Decay 3, the upcoming open-world zombie game from Undead Labs. Details published by Kotaku include allegations of sexism and mismanagement at the Microsoft-owned studio and paint a picture of a game project which is still struggling to get off the ground years after its official reveal. State of Decay 3 began pre-production in late 2018, though developers at Undead Labs were reportedly poorly managed and the project took several team reorganizations to get off the ground. Staff have claimed the game's public announcement in 2020 was too early, and at that point Undead Labs, quote, didn't even know what it was, end quote. The report also alleges sexism, that female employees were ignored or blamed during meetings and subject to sexist remarks, as well as failures by HR. Rules on meeting etiquette reportedly had to be enforced, though it did not solve these issues. In 2018, when Undead Labs was bought by Microsoft, staff said the concern had been an enforced change of culture. Now staff say Microsoft should have done more. One staff member said, quote, we were afraid they would come in and change our culture, but our collapse came from within and we could have used Microsoft's help, end quote. The subsequent switchover from previous studio boss Jeff Strain to former ArenaNet exec Philip Holt as head of the company also caused friction, it was reported, as well as frustration over the company's allegedly ineffective new HR boss, Anne Schlosser. It was here last summer, after several public testimonies of working conditions, that Microsoft apparently did step in. In September, Schlosser, quote, quietly left, end quote. However, the damage has been done and a wave of departures followed. Holt's plans for internal demos of the game also caused problems with staff departures and a lack of focus, seeing plans eventually shifted at employee behest. Employee opinion on the game now seems mixed. Some say it has finally turned a corner, while others are more skeptical of how the project will continue with further departures under the studio's current leadership. Holt said in a statement issued in response, quote, I recognize that some of our employees, current and former, have shared that their experiences at the lab weren't always positive. Our past culture does not exemplify who we are now, nor who we want to become. We have seen a lot of change in the last few years. We have an entirely new leadership team, including a new HR director and department in 2021, hired about 75 employees since the beginning of the pandemic, and have transformed the demographic makeup of our team. We've already seen that our ongoing cultural transformation is creating a better workplace for the team, which leads to better games for our community. I am proud of the work we have done, humbled by the task in front of us, positioned to learn from this experience, and committed to doing better every day. End quote.
All right. Okay. So first of all, I'll just say this as I have to. Fuck HR. You literally suck. The amount of times we've heard how failure of HR is getting beyond of a joke now. 2, fuck the sexism that happened in this company. Like, you should never be Dominion or blaming the women or anything like that or whatsoever. Like, they worked their asses off to get you a game out and everything, and you've clearly just slammed the door in their faces and just blamed them. That is disgusting. Screw you all for that. A little bit of an L on, I'm just going to say, like I said last time, a little bit of an L on Phil Spencer here as well, because at the end of the day, they've come out, they even says they should not have revealed the game in 2020. That means that this game, we ain't seen this game for a while.
Well, yeah, I mean, I feel like even when, because this was at the big E3, not E3 thing, wasn't it? Like, they had the big show, and I remember, like, State of Decay 3 happened, and there was a reveal, and I feel like our collective response to seeing that game announced was, huh? Really? Because, like, the previous game had just come out. They were still making
content for them.
Yeah, they were still making expansions for that game. So it was like, what the fuck's this doing here? And then, obviously, we haven't heard from it since, and I mean, we know why. The thing is, and there's something in this post that really has struck a chord with me, in terms of like things that we've talked about in the past for the way Microsoft has approached buying game studios, which is at the beginning of the spending spree when they started buying a lot of studios. Like, it's even mentioned in here. One of the employees of Undead Labs says, like, there's a worry that Microsoft is going to buy the studio and they're going to change the culture of the studio. And that was a worry. Like, when Microsoft started buying companies left, right, and center, a lot of people, myself included, even looked at the situation and was like, oh man, I hope they don't like ruin In Exile or Obsidian or like whichever companies that they were buying at the time.
Yeah.
And like, it's, I don't know if it's ever not dawned on me properly, but like, it's really put it on a sharp focus that like, that's not necessarily a good thing that they haven't done that. Like, being completely hands off, which is kind of how I feel like the narrative has gone with Microsoft buying, with all of the studios that Microsoft has bought. Like, they're getting really hands off and just letting them do their thing. Well, I mean, in the case of Undead Labs, letting them do their thing wasn't a great idea, clearly. So maybe there is a balance to be struck between, you make great games, keep doing that, but you need some oversight, and maybe you need some like direction and some leadership, or maybe, we need to step in and fix certain problems that exist at the studio. Because, there's the big elephant in the room as I'm saying all of these things is Activision Blizzard. Yeah. It's we can't really keep the culture of Activision Blizzard, or I hope not. So
my only hope when it comes to like Activision Blizzard is because it's all out there and everything. They'd just be like, when we buy it, we gotta get in, we gotta gut the places, get in proper teams, reorganize, get these staff getting paid properly, blah 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 blah, and everything like that. If that means games take a lot longer to get delayed and get pushed back because of it, fan-freaking-tastic, you do all that. You need to do this. There's no doubt about that. And hopefully, maybe because this has happened, Phil Spencer's maybe took a bit of a hit in the chin, and he's just like, maybe we need to get a little bit more hands-on here with the studios, make sure there's no shit going on behind the scenes where people feel uncomfortable, feel like they're getting pushed out, basically felt like they're getting blamed and everything like that. We got to go in and make sure. Maybe they just need to do this. I'm glad they've gone in and they've restructured the entire thing, and hopefully by the end of this we will get a great game when it comes out of it. I'm rooting for State of Decay. I did not enjoy 1. 2 was a buggy mess for me personally. I just didn't click with it. And so I'm hoping like 3 is like the trailer what was revealed for 3, even though it is a cinematic, it was just like, ooh.
I feel like we're in Anthem territory here, where it's like the trailer that we saw has no bearing on whatever game is currently being developed at Undead Labs. Yeah,
that because of what this whole thing says. Yeah, that whole trailer's now was literally in the bin.
Yeah.
pretty much we don't know what's going to look like. So for me, it's like if anyone thought we might see State of Decay 3 sometime this year, maybe just like a what further down, like a gameplay reveal or something like that. I don't think you're going to see this until probably.
I mean, it says right here, employee on the game now. Employee opinion on the game right now is mixed. So there are still people who work at Undead Labs who are skeptical of how the project is going to continue under the studio's current leadership. Because remember, like Microsoft stepped in and did some stuff, but the person who is in charge of Undead Labs throughout this entire fiasco is still in charge of Undead Labs.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what's going on there, but like he talks about learning and growing and stuff. It's like, there was a time.
They all
Moody.
say that.
There was a time, Moody, when I used to give people who said this stuff the benefit of the doubt. I've heard it too many times. I'll believe it when I see it in action.
That's fair. That is completely.
But I think Microsoft need to take an L on this one because they've clearly let this continue when they shouldn't have. Hopefully, they have learned a lesson from this.
I'm trying to remember. When did they buy them? 2018?
2018. It was one of the first ones because
when they did that big reveal of like, what was it, 8 studios or something they bought all at once, or revealed that they bought.
It was when they bought a lot of studios that they'd already worked with in the past, like some that I didn't even realize they didn't already own. So here's the other thing. So we've now got this story about Undead Labs and their culture was bad. And then they got bought by Microsoft, and it was bad. Continued to be bad. I'm not really sure what it looks like now. But we also have the initiative basically falling apart.
Another L for Phil Spencer.
Which is what I'm saying is I know two things don't make a pattern, but they do start a pattern, and I'm starting to wonder if there's a pattern emerging here with Microsoft's management of game studios, because there's another game that we've known has existed for a very long time, being made at a studio currently owned by Microsoft, which has disappeared off the face of the planet, and we don't know why. And that's Fable. So like it's conjecture at the moment that maybe something's gone wrong at Playground Games as well. But given what we've read about the initiative in the past few weeks, given what we're reading now about Undead Labs, like, given there are other games that are currently in development at Microsoft-owned studios that have vanished into the ether, I'm starting to get a bit concerned that there's a pattern of, at worst, like, mismanagement at Microsoft in terms of its game development studios, internal games development studios. And maybe I'm just looking at things and seeing connections where there's no connections. Maybe I'm doing the whole, Pepe Sylvia thing, and just looking too deeply into it. But I don't know, I'm a bit concerned now.
Well, there's no doubt about it. When they revealed Fable at long last, the worst kept secret in the world, I think we were all still saying this game is still years away. It's still, what was it? Was revealed in 2023, I believe, or was it late last year?
The fuck is it with you in 2023 today?
2020, 2020, I do not know. My brain.
Games take a long time to develop. I'm not saying suggesting anything otherwise, and the things that we've seen for some of them are just literally boom, here's a title screen. But it's just there's a thread emerging here. And I know it's only 2 instances of things going badly wrong at Microsoft development studios, but I'm starting to get that's where I'm saying I'm starting to get a bit concerned by what's going on at these other studios.
I understand where you're coming from. I do understand. I definitely see where there's smoke, there's definitely fire. There's no doubt about that. And if this has happened to 2, if we hear there's a third one, there's the pattern, and there is a pattern, and then we will have to start again having proper conversations to being seriously worried with how Phil Spencer and his team are managing this whole situation and everything. When it comes to Fable and Playground Games, I think we also got to take into consideration Playground Games have practically only done racing car games. This is a brand new whole thing when it comes to learning what they need to do for a open world.
Sure. Like
Third. Sorry,
I picked on Fable purely because it was the first one that came to mind. Like there are others that come to mind. Rare Studios was supposed to be making a game. Ninja Theory is supposed to be making several games. Like it's not just Playground Games. That was just the first one that sprung into my head.
No, I know. Well, I just wanted to state that though. Like, I think Fable is like Gorilla for Horizon. Like it's a completely whole new different. The only what helped Horizon, obviously, because they've done those type of games compared. All they had to do is just learn how to. Well, I say all they had to do.
All you had to do. I'm gonna cut you off right there.
Yeah. But for Playground, it's changing from doing a game engine into a new engine and everything. So, but not engine. I mean,
again,
style
this might
of
all
gameplay.
just be me reading too much into stuff.
Yeah,
I'm just putting it out there. Like, consider me officially giving Microsoft the side eye.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Giving them the side eye, just like we're watching you, Microsoft.
But you know who else I'm giving the stink eye?
I think we've given them nothing but the stink eye.
GDC. You didn't see that coming, did you? GDC's Activision Blizzard sponsored Women in Games event was reportedly full of creeps. I think someone says this in the story, but I have to say it out loud right now after reading the headline. Why the fuck was Activision Blizzard sponsoring a Women in Games event at GDC in the fucking first place? With that being said, this is from Rhiannon Bevan over at The Gamer, who writes, when Activision Blizzard first faced accusations of fostering a toxic and abusive workplace, especially for women, it responded in multiple, seemingly contradictory ways. While it promised to terminate those who enabled abuse, Bobby Kotick is keeping his job. While saying that management would, quote, protect marginalized groups, end quote, it stops them from unionizing. For this reason, many were skeptical when Activision Blizzard revealed it would become a sponsor of Women in Game International. Now, WIGI, or Wiggy, as I'm going to call them for the rest of this story, is under fire for both taking this money and using it to host a GDC after-party last week. One attendee describes the event as, quote, a men's praying ground, end quote, and another says that some men in attendance were, quote, predatory, end quote. Beth Bainke spoke out about Wiggy's GDC after-party on Thursday. She says, quote, there were several inappropriate men there, end quote, one of which she had to ask to stop touching her. Jessica Gonzalez, who used to work at Activision Blizzard herself, also spoke of the event in the replies, quote, it was shocking that they even held something like that. Not only didn't they read the room, they straight up set up a formula for predatory men to prey on aspiring/established women devs, end quote. In the early hours of the Friday morning, Javiera Corda shared that, quote, several women were assaulted, end quote, at the party. She has called on Wiggy to respond to the complaints, saying, quote, it is reasonable to demand accountability from @GetWiggy on why this event was allowed to take place in a nightclub, end quote. Benke later shared that she has now discussed these concerns with Wiggy's CEO. Joanne Kraut, quote, oh, you know what? Because there's not supposed to be a line break there. That's on me. Sorry. I'm going to start that paragraph over again. Benke later shared that she has now discussed these concerns with Wiki CEO Johnny Kraut. Quote, we disagreed on higher level discussions/suggestions, but she was concerned plus interested in my smaller suggestions. I hope we see at minimum a code of conduct plus enforcers/contact info at future Wiki events, end quote. The gaming industry's fixation on alcohol-focused events has long been criticised, with many feeling it is inappropriate to hold these while many companies root out abusive behaviour. Companies such as Rockstar have further been criticised for allegedly holding work trips in nightclubs and strip clubs.
One, why the hell would you even allow Activision Blizzard to be here? I don't care how big they are in the industry. I don't care how essential or whatever they are in the industry whatsoever. GDC, you should not have allowed them to be there whatsoever.
I think they were just sponsoring the event.
I don't care.
That happened.
I don't care.
No, I'm saying that.
Care,
I said it at the very top.
Yeah.
I don't think they were there specifically. I just think they sponsored. Their name was sponsoring the event.
Yeah. Well, they should never have allowed them to even sponsor the event whatsoever. And I hope next year they do not allow them to do this.
I mean, I'll go
Jessica-
one step further, Moody. I feel like next year there shouldn't be an alcohol-fueled after party at a industry event, because I feel like
Exactly. Yeah.
this was
Yeah.
was set up for this exact situation to happen. Like, with everything that we've heard and learned in the past couple of years, how did they not see what was going to happen?
Exactly. There's no doubt about that. This is disgusting. This is disgusting, and this is disgusting. I think that's the only fair for the thing here. Like,
We've learned nothing, basically.
they've literally learned nothing whatsoever, and they've allowed like creeps to be allowed to come into this situation and to be creeps, and it's do better. Seriously, do better.
This was fucking ridiculous, like,
Yeah.
to read, like, and it pissed me off. And, like, we would have done this last week, but we went off on a major tangent, and I wanted to keep this in for this week because, like I said, this is just fucking absolutely ridiculous that this situation was allowed to take place. We know, it's not like we didn't know. We've known for years because of every single fucking story that's come out. And how many of them have involved fucking cube crawls, fucking alcohol, going to nightclubs, going to strip clubs, like women being assaulted in these situations, women being harassed in these situations, and then guess what? It happened at the nightclub where all the alcohol was flowing. Can we learn from this one? Or are we going to have to do this again at the next industry event? What the fuck? I get that, like, people want to do parties and have a good time and blow off steam, because I'm sure GDC is very hard for the people who go there to do work, but, like, can we maybe do that in a setting or a situation where women aren't being set up to be preyed upon by predatory men? Or is that too much to ask? Do we have to have a more serious conversation? Jesus fucking Christ.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. It's Activision all the way down. US senators call out unacceptable lack of accountability for Bobby Kotick in Microsoft buyout. This is from Andy Chuck over at PC Gamer. He writes, United States Senators Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, Cory Booker, and Sheldon Whitehouse have sent a letter to FTC Chairwoman Lena Khan asking that she investigate whether Microsoft's planned acquisition of Activision Blizzard could worsen the workplace conditions at the company. The letter, reported by the Wall Street Journal, also calls out CEO Bobby Kotick's continued role at the company and, quote, golden parachute, end quote, saying that failing to hold him accountable for the workplace culture he allowed to flourish would, quote, be an unacceptable result, end quote, of the acquisition. The letter states, quote, workers at Activision Blizzard, following years of rampant sexual misconduct and discrimination and unfair labor practices, have led calls for greater transparency and accountability in the gaming industry, and we are deeply concerned that this acquisition could further disenfranchise these workers and prevent their voices from being heard. As the proposed deal moves forward in the review process, the Federal Trade Commission should assess whether the ways in which these companies have failed to protect the rights and dignity of their workers are driven by monopoly power or amount to anti-competitive harms in our labour market, and if so, if the merger will exacerbate these problems, end quote. The letter makes a specific reference to the reported frat boy culture at Activision Blizzard and its recently finalized $18 million settlement with California's EEOC arising from complaints of sexual harassment and discrimination at the company. It also notes that Activision Blizzard is facing a U.S. Securities and Exchange investigation into its handling of workplace misconduct complaints, and that despite his claims to the contrary, Kotick was in fact aware of at least some of the allegations of sexual misconduct complaints, quote, including alleged assaults, end quote, and did not report them to either the board of directors or industry regulators. The plight of QA workers also gets attention. The letter describes them as, quote, undervalued and exploited, end quote, working under contracts that pay less than living wages and subject to arbitrary layoffs. Interestingly, while Microsoft has at least nominally presented itself as the good guy in this merger, most recently by saying that it, quote, will not stand in the way, end quote, of unionization efforts at Activision Blizzard, the senators do not seem impressed, calling the proposed acquisition, quote, a cynical and opportunistic attempt to capitalize on the systemic issues, end quote, at the company. They take an equally dim view of the promise that non-interference with unionization efforts, saying the commitment is, quote, so vague that it leaves multiple ways for Microsoft to undermine the unionization process and its outcome, end quote. But Kotick is clearly the prime target of the senator's ire. The letter says more than 1,800 Activision Blizzard employees signed a letter calling for him to step down, but Microsoft is, quote, protecting him, end quote, under the terms of the acquisition, keeping him as CEO until at least 2023 and ensuring him a massive payday if and when he does leave. Quote, the lack of accountability despite shareholders, employees, and the public calling for Kotick to be held responsible for the culture he created would be an unacceptable result of the proposed Microsoft acquisition, end quote. To be clear, an FTC investigation into the proposed acquisition is going to happen. It's obligatory, but the letter suggests that the process may be rougher than anticipated. The general consensus earlier this year was that there might be, quote, some drama, end quote, but that approval was likely to happen. But this letter could increase the pressure on the FTC to push back against it, especially given that the Biden administration in 2021 expressed an interest in heightened enforcement of antitrust laws, quote, to meet the challenges posed by the new industries and technologies, end quote. An FTC rejection of the deal wouldn't be without precedent either. In December 2021, it sued Nvidia to stop its proposed takeover of UK-based chip designer Arm, which ultimately contributed to Nvidia's decision to halt the acquisition effort. Lots of information.
Pardon?
There's lots of information all at once, but we can get through it. Can I just say I feel vindicated because the thing they say about Microsoft's statement about the not wanting to stop the unions, like pretty much the exact thing I said last week, this letter says. So I feel slightly vindicated in what I said last week.
That's fair. No doubt about that. Yeah, Senators, if you guys want to do something, do something. But you know, I honestly don't think you're going to do anything at the end of the day.
Well,
if you guys do, you do. That is something. But I don't know. Like, there's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. We've said it. We've stated it and said it on many occasions. Bobby Kotick is a piece of shit, and he should not be getting away with everything that has happened at Activision Blizzard under his tutelage, and be allowed to walk away when this deal goes through sometime summer next year with a massive payday and just walk away into retirement without any repercussions. There's no doubt about it. I completely agree with that. I think that's a fair statement to say that pretty much the entire industry wants that to happen. It's not going to happen. It isn't. It's not going to happen whatsoever. And I hate to say that. I just have no faith in the American justice system, law firms, the whole shenanigan, the whole thing that America has when it comes to their FTCs and the whole stupidness when it comes to this. I can't see him doing anything. I can't see anything happening whatsoever. So for me, Bobby Kotick, this piece of slime that he is, will walk away from this probably.
Probably, undoubtedly. But maybe. I don't know, like, we're in a weird situation that we weren't in between the years of 2016 and 2020 for reasons I'm not going to invoke his name. Like this, I feel like the Senators are doing what they can to, like, I know the UK political system a lot better than I know the US legal system, but I feel like this, like, the Senators themselves can't stop a merger. And that's the FTC's job, and the FTC has to investigate it. As the news story we read pointed out, It's obligatory. They have to do that. I feel like what Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, and the other senators in the letter are doing is they're pointing out things that the FTC should be looking into, because it's things that we've said all of these things in this letters in one way or another. Like, angry. I was going to say disappointed. No, it's like, I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. No, I'm fucking angry that Bobby Kotick is going to get away with everything that he did at Activision Blizzard. Yeah, absolutely. Like, we talked about, like, Microsoft's, we'll accept the unionization result. Like, that leaves them so much wiggle room. Like, you know, like, it's the most wishy-washy statement they could have possibly put out. Like, it calls out, I'm trying to find the quotes. I think I need to scroll up a bit. Sorry. Apologies. Like, it does call out a lot of things that I think need to be addressed in this merger. And, like, a lot of people seem to think this is a done deal. And maybe it is, but it's not going to be a cakewalk. Because there are legitimate antitrust implications in Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard. They are two of the biggest companies in the video games industry. This isn't Trump's America anymore. And anti-competitiveness doesn't just mean, all of the things, you'll have to buy a Microsoft thing to buy all of the things that Activision Blizzard makes. Like, anti-competitiveness talks about, it touches on so many different things that this letter brings up that I don't see a lot of people in our sphere of influence talk about a lot, which is like, yeah, it can make work conditions worse because where else are you going to go? Like, by limiting the number of places that people can work limits the need for Activision Blizzard to change to make their working conditions better, because where else are you going to fucking go? We're one of the biggest. You're going to go to fucking Obsidian? It's owned by the same company, motherfuckers. Like that kind of thing. And it also touches on something that we both touched on when this deal was first announced, which is like, so does this mean that like people at Activision Blizzard are just going to have to suffer shit until at least 2023? Because that's fucking unacceptable to me.
Yeah.
So I'm glad people with power in America have actually come out and said it. Like, it's about time people talk about things. Like, people with power.
There's no doubt about it. Yeah, I see where you're coming from with that, but I won't lie, for me, freaking Bernie Sanders has more bloody power than I do in my bloody pinky. He huffs and he puffs and he never blows anything down.
Ooh, one senator. He is only one senator.
I know. And I bet the other ones, they've tried to huff and puff and they've never blown anything down or whatsoever. And it's like, that's just the crazy thing of just how it is when it comes to the American system, that's all. But obviously, I won't lie, I'm very uneducated when it comes to the American system and everything like that. And please, if there's anyone out there who wants to simplify it for me, please freaking get in contact with me on Twitter. I will happily listen to you. There's no problem whatsoever about it, because it is incredibly confusing. But it works for you at the end of the day.
Does it? Does it? That's like saying ours works for us. It works. I mean, it shambles forward, much like a reanimated corpse. If you can call that working, I mean,
It's like a little worm just jiggling along.
Yeah. I think that's insulting worms, to be honest.
I won't lie, that, yeah. But yeah, I honestly... Yeah, it's gonna go. For me, Microsoft and Activision wouldn't have signed to put this through if they weren't confident for it to go through. For me,
I'm sure they are confident that it's going to go through.
So for me, it will probably go through. So
we'll see.
But yes, what you said. Sorry, I'm butting in on you, and I do apologize there. What you said prior, saying it is bloody disgusting that Activision Blizzard employees will have to basically suffer until this deal goes through. And even after that, because until Microsoft are able to get in to even do anything to try and sort anything out, if they even do, let's just be frank here, we've just talked about two freaking incidents that they've took their sweet ass time to get sorted, and we don't even really know if they have been properly sorted yet until further down the line.
If they even do, we don't even know. Well, that's the thing. We like in the Undead Lab situation. We're literally reading about things that have happened. We don't really know what the situation is right now, because that's not what was talked about in the thing that we read. Like, yeah, if they even do. Sorry, it might be an unpopular opinion because Microsoft's popularity is in the ascendancy, but like they are also a gigantic corporation. And as we try to tell people as much as possible, that corporations aren't your friends. They exist to make money for themselves. If it was in Microsoft's best interests to fucking pay all of their workers $1 an hour and they could get away with it, they would do that. Because that is how corporations work. So, yeah, we'll see. Like, I have more faith in Microsoft than I do in other companies based on everything that they've done in the past. But
they've had 2 L's.
There's been some stuff that's going on that's concerning to me. So we'll see what happens. Just people need to stop supporting fucking gigantic corporations like they're fucking football teams. And don't even get me started on football teams. Should we move on? Saudi-owned football teams that I keep hearing about non-stop.
Because we're close to one.
I know. Oh, yeah. But look at all the money that's going to come into Newcastle. Okay, great. I'm going to take a drink, sorry. Just needed to wet the throat after that one. Oh, that's going to win me some popularity. We'll move on. Black streamers and color of change demand. Hashtag TwitchDoBetter. This is from Ed Nightingale over at Eurogamer. He writes, Black streamers on Twitch have joined forces with Color of Change on a campaign demanding hashtag TwitchDoBetter. Last year, marginalized creators on the platform were rocked by a surge of malicious hate raids, and the hashtag TwitchDoBetter was used to criticize Twitch's response. This was followed by the A Day Off Twitch campaign. However, this new campaign is asking for a resurgence in support. In an open letter to Twitch CEO Emmett Shear and senior staff, Black streamers state not enough has been done to support marginalized creators. While Twitch did respond to the influx of hate raids, the letter notes that Twitch only updated its safety protocols following the high-profile campaigns of Black streamers, and since then, not enough has been done. The letter reads, quote, while Twitch claims to be listening to creators and building solutions to help stop unwanted harassment, it is still not offered a timeline for when these demands will be met, if at all. Twitch has shown repeatedly that it is not willing to be transparent and cares more deeply about its public image than the safety of Black streamers, end quote. The letter also criticizes the recent support for Black History Month as, quote, short-term performative Black History Month initiatives, which was sorely inadequate, end quote. Quote, Twitch must address its complicity in anti-black racism on the platform, and that starts with working directly with impacted black creators to determine which policy and procedural changes are needed to improve their safety, as well as being transparent about when these changes will be implemented, end quote. As such, Black streamers and Color of Change have three major demands that Twitch do better. 1. Easily accessible and well-communicated incident feedback loops, which would allow Black creators who've been harassed or hate raided to obtain more immediate support. 2. Improved moderation practices and support which would equip Black creators and their teams with the tools needed to end hate raids and protect themselves from discriminatory language, especially during featured events. And 3. Commitment to conduct a racial equality audit which would allow Twitch to eliminate any manifestation of bias, discrimination, or hate in its policies and procedures. The campaign has been launched alongside a video featuring the experiences of 4 Black streamers, I Am Brandon, A_typical_queer, Real Mama Eagle, and It's Lady Kit. For more information and add your voice, visit the Color of Change website, link in the description of the podcast. Last part wasn't part of the news story. That was me saying that. It's down there right now.
Before I start anything, I think it's if a person of color out there, please get in contact or something like that. It would have been great to possibly have someone on for this story alone, because like we've already stated, like I said last week, representation is incredibly important for anyone, like for content creators who didn't have a trans person on when it came to the Harry Potter thing on, should have had someone on. And the same goes for us on here. I think we both could have tried to get someone on here for this, but please get in contact if you would like to come on and everything like that, because we would love to chat to you and everything like that.
You know me, maybe I'll chat to anybody.
Representation is incredibly important.
Almost anybody.
Imagine that being said, Pasty White Dude here. This is fantastic, and I hope something can happen from this. And and I support you all in as best way as I will ever can for you. It's the same thing like when it comes to like the do better Ubisoft, do better Activision, Blizzard, do better Twitch. You need to do better, and I support everybody who's involved in this and everything like that. And please get in contact if you want to come on the podcast and everything like that. Because
So I think from my point of view, I'm a little bit guilty of taking my eye off the ball when it came because like the hate raid started last year. Like, I mean, there's always been hate raids on Twitch. Like, that's unfortunately a fact of the platform because people fucking suck. When they stepped up last year, I think we talked about it quite a bit. We did the whole Twitch Day Off Twitch thing. We like talked about that. We talked about what was going on, and then I feel like for me, and I'm just speaking for me personally, like I feel like I took my eye off this a little bit when I probably shouldn't have. So this video that was made by Color of Change like popped up on my timeline again, and I watched the video. I went on the website, followed all of the creators that were in the video and Color of Change, or the ones that I didn't already follow, which you should all go and do. I talked about that last week when we were talking about the being a better ally. Is go follow people on social media, because that's the best way you can know these things. And I don't want to spend too long talking about this, because obviously pasty white dude, pasty white chick, like I want to get out of the way and amplify black voices. But I feel like in this instance, when we couldn't get someone on to actually talk about this like in depth, the way to do that is to say, this is an issue, this is what you can do about it, go do it.
Yeah.
Let them speak for it. Go watch the video. Go watch the Color of Change video. It's the 4 content creators. I'll say them again, and I'll link them all in the description of the video. I am Brandon, A_typical queer, Real Mama Eagle, and It's Lady Kit. They're all fantastic people. Go watch them talk about it in the video. Go follow Color of Change. Go to their website, which is also linked in the description. Go do all of that. They're cool. It's cool. Hate rating isn't cool. We need to stamp it out. Twitch does need to do better. For all of its creators.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sick of Twitch, and I'm gonna go beyond a little bit the issue that we just brought up to just a more generalized issue for marginalized creators. I'm sick of fucking Twitch only celebrating black creators on the front page during Black History Month, or only celebrating LGBTQ plus creators during Pride Month, or only celebrating women creators during Women's History Month. Like, celebrate these people 365 days of the fucking year, alongside all of the pasty, straight, cis, white dudes that you fucking celebrate 24/7. You'll probably get me on to use Twitch more just by doing that. You'll probably get a lot of people that use Twitch more by just doing that. Like, it fucking sucks that I have to go digging around for creators who aren't straight, white, cis dudes.
Yeah, there's not about like the, but all companies are that though. All companies do this. Like all companies do.
Absolutely.
Like what month is it? Oh, it's Black History Month. Right. Well, we'll support them this month, and then we'll forget about them for the other 11 months of the year.
Yeah. Oh, it's Pride Month. Let's change our logo to a rainbow. Or do what Skittles do and make all of their fucking Skittles white. Like, guys, I don't think you thought this through.
Yeah, that was.
They've done it twice. I'm hoping they do it a third time so I can, because I'm gonna buy a pack of those Skittles and I'm just gonna keep them just for the irony. Like, what the fuck? But go follow everything and click on all the links in the description and just educate yourself and when someone from a marginalized community asks you to do something to better some part of their experience, be it on Twitch or like just in their lives in general, do it.
Do it indeed.
Do it. We're going to move on to Tidbits. See this? I'm keeping control of the podcast and the time, and I'm getting better and better at it. Whoop 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 whoop. We can do the news story I was going to do as a tidbit, because basically the Russian Loop Hero developers are telling players to pirate their game because of sanctions, meaning that no one can actually buy the game. They're being supported by their publisher, in this instance Devolver Digital.
Yeah, they're the ones saying to do it, so yeah, I guess go and do it. I do not support piracy whatsoever, but with the dev who are telling you to do it, I guess go for it. I guess they're the ones promoting it for all that. It's always an uncomfortable thing for me, like to say, go support piracy type of thing.
Oh, it's like in this instance, in this rare instance, I can't believe these words are going to come out of my mouth, but by pirating Loop Hero, you are actually supporting the developers.
Yeah.
In this one instance.
Yeah.
Don't use that as a blanket fucking thing to like pirate everything. Like you can't buy the game because sanctions Russia. Like, and even if you like could buy the game, like I suppose you can still buy the game, but they're not going to get paid for it. So like, you buy Loop Hero on Steam, the dev's not going to get paid for it because they're being sanctioned. Like, there's no banks for them to get the money. So yeah, pirate the game instead. I get where they're coming from.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I completely get where they're coming from. Feels weird.
It's just weird, isn't it? It's just weird, isn't it? It's like
to help the developer pirate their game.
Well, it's more of a you're better off doing that than buying it.
Yeah.
It's 2022. What a fucking ride this has been. Epic Games has now raised $100 million for Ukraine humanitarian efforts via Fortnite profits. That is still actually going on until tonight. At the time of recording, it's today, so it'll be finished. So that number next week when we report on it is going to be higher still.
Well done. That's fantastic.
A lot of money.
It really is, yeah.
We love to see it. We really do. Capcom is raising the wage of its Japan-based staff by 30%.
I loved seeing this. This was amazing to read this. And yeah, just fantastic. Well done.
That's good.
Innovators. Capcom want to become innovators.
Capcom are being innovative. What are they doing? They're paying their staff a better wage. Innovation. I fucking hate it. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's great to see, like, you know, like, yeah, like reward devs for their hard work. Reward everybody for their hard work. Like, it's great to see. Yeah. Did you watch my Elden Ring review?
Yes.
Did you catch the sarcastic joke I put in the middle of it about From Software treating the staff better? I may have made a comment.
I think I missed that.
No, I did a thing where I was like, whoever came, like, you know, I say this in reviews a lot, where it's like, oh, whoever came up with this thing deserves a raise. And then as I was saying it in the recording, I made a very sarcastic comment about, well, maybe you should give everyone a raise. By the looks of it, From.
Just gives me another reason to watch it.
Just rewatch it. You'll catch it. It's very quick. I was speaking really fast throughout that entire video.
You were.
But
that's why I think I didn't catch it.
It's just the way I talk. Like, I don't know. Anyway, we got Microsoft is reportedly launching an Xbox Game Pass family plan later this year.
Good idea.
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
You would consider us family, right? Brother.
What up, sis?
What up, bro?
It's definitely something to talk about.
Yeah,
I mean the family pan, the Game Pass family pan.
No, it's not going to be a bro sis thing. I'm just going to get you to adopt me.
Fair?
Yeah. I'd accept that.
Me and the missus have always said we want kids, so
let's do it. I'm right here. Right. Take me. The best part is you get a kid who can help with the rent. And you don't need to feed me.
I'm fucking sold.
You don't even need to feed me. Win-win.
Sweet. I'm sold.
Oh, dear. Halo developer admits fans are, quote, out of patience, end quote, with a lack of Halo Infinite updates and communication.
Gamers have very little patience. Have you not realized this? Of course they were going to run out of patience. Come on.
I can't believe I'm going to say this sentence. In gamers' defense, it's been 5 months.
6 months now.
Yeah, and it's like, guys, we were just talking about this on the stream last night when we were talking about Among Us. It's like, I understand that game development is challenging, difficult, and takes time. But when you make a game like Halo Infinite, you need to keep people invested in that game, and you do that with new stuff. Like when we talked about Halo Infinite when we reviewed it in the big long review we did in December, and I said, like, I'm interested, like, it's putting aside the multiplayer aspect of it for a moment, I'm interested to see where the story goes next, because they're talking about Halo Infinite being a platform, like, and there's a definite, like, tease for whatever comes next, and then it's just been nothing. Like, not even a, hey, we're going to talk about this at some point.
Yeah.
in time. And like, so I can see where the multiplayer frustrations may be coming from as well. Like, I'm sure there's plenty of people who are being shitty about it, and they should not be being shitty about it. But
Halo Infinite is a game that I'll still say. I think I said last year. There's a game that should not have come out last year. They held it to as late as they could have, that they felt like it was going to be a good enough game to throw out. But it's a game that should have been pushed to this year, and they should have probably even held it off for the entire year until till fall this year, and then they could have had not only accumulated enough content to be able to stretch it out to give it a good enough amount of content for it, and it would have, I think, could have blown everyone away even more than it did last year. It got a lot of hype, and it was very successful. Congratulations to the entire team. But sadly, I see where you're coming from. Like that, it's been like 5-6 months now. But at the same time, this was the game that they were like cracking hard on to get it sorted as fast as they could within a year, basically. And they did an incredible job to be able to put out a multiplayer that is very well received, and a story mode and everything that was very well received as well. So
it's that weird situation of, I don't know if I necessarily agree that the game should have been delayed like any further than it already was. Like, I mean, I guess I do as a concept, because like obviously like the longer you take to make a game, the better it's going to be regardless. Like, unless there's development issues. Like, but like, I mean, the game that we got was my number 2 game of 2021. So like, I'm not really going to sit here and go, well, it could have been better. I guess it could have been better by like one spot. like on my list, but like, I play the campaign, I love the campaign, and I play the multiplayer, I love the multiplayer. Like but I get where you're coming from as well, where it's like, that's cool and everything, but like, it's also unfortunately a live service game, and part of that live service package is you need to update it every now and again. And it's not just necessarily the lack of updates as it is like that would be frustrating, as it is lack of communication, which is like piles on top of it, where it's like, even if you've got nothing coming for the next couple of months, if you just be more communicative and open, like the frustration will be felt less, because at least, like, even if it's like, oh, we're working on this new fucking gun, it's like, cool, at least like I can see a thing that you're working on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I think it's a bit of both in the middle. I think it's somewhere we're in the middle somewhere. Like, so yeah.
Like Phil. Yeah, probably. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild sequel has been pushed to spring 2023.
Who didn't see this coming?
Joe Medforce.
Poor Joe. The Medforce was not strong with you there, sir. At all.
But yeah, the game's not coming out until spring 2023. Honestly, good, because at the moment it gives me more time to play other games. Like, there's a lot of games coming out this year.
Perfect time for Bayonetta 3 just to slide into that fall season perfectly.
Alongside like Pokemon and
yeah,
God knows what else. We did this as a podcast a few weeks ago, so I'm not going to start going, oh, all the games. But like, yeah, like, it's fine. Like, take your time. Like, this happened with Breath of the Wild as well. I feel like it was delayed constantly for like 2-3 years. So like, yeah, just take your time, make an amazing game. We'll see you in spring. It's cool. The first one came out in spring.
Yeah. It'll come out in time for Horizon 3. I cannot take praise for that joke. That was from Sean Capri. I saw his tweet. And it was like, that made me giggle. So shout out at Sean Capri on Twitter.
Like, yeah, like, I'm sure like Nintendo called Bandai Namco, and they were just like, look, we really want to release Breath of the Wild 2 at the same time as Horizon Forbidden West, but we're just not going to get there in time. Is there anything you can do? And Bandai were just like, don't worry about it. Elden Ring's nearly finished. Like, we continue the meme. We've got this. It's fine. We got you back, Nintendo. Don't you worry about it.
Exactly.
Hyper Light Breaker, a fully 3D roguelite follow-up to Hyper Light Drifter, is coming in 2023.
Yay?
Yeah, I mean, yay. I liked Hyper Light Drifter.
Never played it, can't comment on it.
Not your kind of game, I don't think. Speaking of someone who knows you quite well, I think you would appreciate the art style, which is incredible, and the music, which is incredible. The game is incredible, but I don't think it's your kind of game.
That's fair.
Whereas this has co-op.
Well, does it?
Yeah, Hyperlight Breaker. Yeah, it's gonna have co-op.
So all the things you've just said, you want to drag me in as a co-op partner.
Come on, let's go.
I'll stay behind with my little sword.
We need to play. Yeah, just get behind me. I think we need to play more co-op games in general. Like we played Nobody Saves the World at the start of the year, and even though we didn't really like the game very much, like the act of playing that game together was fun. So yeah. I need to like look at my backlog and see if there's any co-op games on there. Oh, here it is. PlayStation has filed a new trademark for knack. Knack 3, baby.
Well, Knack 2 did have co-op, so.
Well, let's not go. Let's not be too hasty about what. Let's have some standards about what we play like together. I can't wait for Knack 3 to be a thing because it's just like, how? How is it? How is this still happening?
How is this still happening?
Like, does the game sell well? I don't get it.
It must. It
doesn't do well. Like, it doesn't review well. Like, I don't understand what's happening. But I guess if it's selling, like, I guess. Like, is it easy to make, like, relative to other video games? Like, there's a reason this keeps coming up.
Yeah, it's probably what was the architect guy who
he was talking about hard drives and shit.
Mark Cerny.
Mark Cerny. Yeah.
It's him. He's just like, oh, do you want me to do the architect for PlayStation 5? Yeah.
This is it.
I want Knack 3.
No, this is it. He's like, oh, you want me to get up on stage and talk about hard drives for an hour and become a meme? I want Knack 3. And then PlayStation were just like, well, we need you. So, yeah, we'll make that happen. Everybody's Golf online service is shutting down this September. Fuck, I like that game. How dare you? Unless you're going to give me Everybody's Golf 2 PlayStation, we're going to have beef over this. Everybody's Golf's a cool game. I like it.
Yeah.
And I don't want you to shut the service down. Boo, I say. Boo.
Boo.
Persona 5 is leaving the PlayStation Plus collection. Didn't realize this was going to be a thing. Like, that instant game collection, apparently games are going to come out of it. So, grab it if you've got PS Plus. Because you can just click the button and add it to your library. Duh. Slipped.
Respect. Can't be far for... I've said it already, but I'll say it again for Persona 6 announcement.
Oh no! It's coming soon. Like TG, keep your eyes on TGS this year, because they're doing a whole thing with Persona. But not specifically TGS. I just mean in general. Like they're doing like things with like Persona announcements. But like Persona 6 can't be far away. We'll see what happens. Lastly, Twitch has suspended the paid boost train feature after porn was highlighted on the front page.
Wait, if I remember rightly, didn't Blue Hedgehog Kai streamer
Sonic
Ninja, didn't he create a channel, or someone created a channel and shared was after he left and went to Mixer, and then like
he went to Mixer and I'm pretty sure someone streamed porn on his channel.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that.
They really don't get like.
Well, it's just great. Twitch, like, man. I'm glad this feature is dead because it's a dumb feature, and it went out in the most Twitch way it possibly could have.
Exactly.
With porn. Well played, Twitch. But yeah, like obviously, like fucking Jesus. All right. Logging out to twitch.tv and being like, well, what pasty white there? Got a pop up for my antivirus all of a sudden there. Apologies, people watching the podcast on YouTube. Yeah, what pasty white dude am I going to see on the front page of Twitch? Oh my god!
I did not expect to say that.
I did not expect to see this much of a pasty white dude on Twitch. Ah. My eyes. Nothing wrong with porn, but surprise porn is a bit.
Just looking at it, you just go, let's watch some Fortnite. Oh my god, what's going on Fortnite?
Oh, I wonder if anybody's streaming Elden Ring.
Mommy, what's that man doing to that woman?
Volume turned up and fucking someone's walking past the front door of your room and it's just like, shit. What are you doing in there? It's just like, I'm trying to watch Elden Ring.
But it's got all crazy.
But somebody paid a bunch of money and boosted some porn onto the front page of Twitch. My world is collapsing. Oh, it's time for games out this week, Moody.
Time for games out this week indeed, Amy.
On April 5th, LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga comes to PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and PC. Play through all 9 Star Wars Saga films in a brand new LEGO video game unlike any other. Experience fun-filled adventures, whimsical humor, and the freedom to fully immerse yourself in the LEGO Star Wars galaxy. So you copy that. Also on April 5th, MLB The Show 22 comes to PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch and will also be available in Game Pass. With the all-new MLB The Show, there are more ways than ever for gamers to play. Craft the perfect team, round up your friends to see who's champion of the couch or online, or spend an evening raking in homers as you progress your career to the big leagues in Road to the Show. Then on April 7th, Chinatown Detective Agency comes to Xbox, Switch, and PC. Chinatown Detective Agency is a cyber-noir point-and-click adventure blending stunning retro design with innovative mechanics. Play as Amira Dharma, an ex-cop who just opened her own detective agency. Choose your clients, travel around the world, and solve dangerous cases using real-world research. Also on April 7th, Out There, Oceans of Time comes to PC. Out There, Oceans of Time is a space exploration game that puts you at the helm of an interstellar mission of discovery spanning a vast and vibrant cosmos. Lastly, on April 7th, we also have Forgive Me Father, which is coming to PC. Forgive Me Father is a dark retro horror FPS set in a comic book style world inspired by the novels of H.P. Lovecraft. As the only one left with full senses, you begin a journey in search of answers and relief. How long can you last? Chinatown Detective Agency looks sick, by the way. Cool. I'm so excited for that game.
I was literally, obviously, sort of copy and paste Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. I was literally just thinking, that'll have co-op. Yeah. Local split screen, doesn't have online multiplayer.
Interesting.
And I was like, are you crazy, man? Because I was literally thinking, that could be a nice little co-op thing for us to play.
Yeah. You know what? I have no interest in playing a Lego game. It's just not really my bag, but I could have fun playing a Lego game with you.
No. And this game's been delayed 2 years. This was meant to come out in 2020.
Small indie games, with limited developers and limited budgets and stuff, I get. Maybe, not implementing an online multiplayer game, but it always bums me out when a multiplayer game doesn't have online.
Apparently, it once had online co-op mode.
It's just like
cut.
Hey, game developers, do you see a fucking couch in here? No. Well, I can't play a couch co-op then, can I?
It was cut from during the development cycle.
Wait, what was behind me there? Oh,
Lights.
It's fine. It's just my shoes. I was like, wait, what have I left behind me? Oh, no. It's fine. We're good. Yeah. Chinatown Detective Agency looks sick. I'm really looking forward to adding it to the pile of games I'll eventually get around to playing. Let's move on to OpenCritic Head to Head. This is the game myself and Moody play every single week where we try to guess the OpenCritic average of one upcoming game. Whoever guesses closest to the result gets a point. If you manage to guess the score correctly, you get 2 points. Last week, we tried to guess the OpenCritic average of Weird West. I guessed it would get an 83, Moody guessed it would get a 77, and at the time of recording, Weird West has an OpenCritic average of 77, which means Moody gets 2 points and ties the scores up at 6-6.
We're just duking it out right now.
This is exactly what happened last year. You started it off, you got the first point, Then I rocketed into the lead, and then you pulled me back. This is just what's happened. This is just how it works. The game is perfectly balanced to mean that
like
nobody gets too far ahead.
Just like all things.
Just like all things, yeah. Like, the game is perfectly balanced so that no one gets away. It's great. I love it. If someone starts pulling ahead, like, it all goes fucking tits for them, and they stop scoring points. But this week, we're going to try and guess the OpenCritic average of Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. Moody?
Lego games don't really review the greatest.
I mean,
but this one, like, they've really apparently, like, it was built up from the ground up. They've, like, changed the engine and changed how they do things, like, when they came to creating this game. That's obviously why they've had terrible crunch culture at the studio right now. Thanks, TT Games, for that. But Star Wars ones, though, have reviewed reasonably well. I'm going to go 80.
80.
I feel like I want to go lower.
Too late. You said it now. It's in there. If I can put it in there. There we go. Like, the cursor on my screen on here, right? Like, the blinking cursor is literally, like, in the middle of the zero. This is why I always have trouble writing the numbers in this part, because for some reason, on this part of the dock, the cursor is just fucked. I don't know where I'm typing. Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. I don't know. Like, I'm coming at this from a bit of a different direction than you, because, like, on the one hand, Lego games in general are okay. They're good. They're fun. But, like, they're not, like, groundbreaking video games in any way. So I always sort of, like, I would assume that they would always sort of get, like, good review scores, not amazing review scores. But I've been beat. I've had this, like, we've been playing OpenCritic head-to-head for a couple of years, right? And I have had the shit kicked out of me by inflating my scores on indie games and undershooting on AAA games, because this is just where we're at.
Yeah.
And I'm sure part of that is my conscious bias, let's be frank, towards AAA games in general. So basically, like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with this game anymore. So I don't know, like, fucking, I'm just gonna put some numbers in, like, off the keyboard, and we'll see what happens. Like, you ready for this? Wait, I need to make sure I've got
roll a dice.
I'm not rolling a dice. I'm not rolling a dice. But look, you'd see, for everybody watching the video podcast, and Moody can confirm, I'm looking up. I'm not looking at my keyboard. That one and that one. 9,656. Yeah, that sounds about right. We'll try that again, but only push 2 buttons this time. That one. And that one. All right,
so
70.
So
73. It rhymes.
So 7, huh?
7. 9,000. It's over 9,000.
When I first saw the first one going 9, I was thinking, okay. Yeah. Then it went 6. I went, oh, okay, Amy. And you literally did just roll a dice, didn't you?
I wasn't looking. I was looking up. I was running my fingers along the thing, and I just happened to push 4 buttons at once by accident. But it's fine. I pushed 2, and it came out as 73. That's my guess. I don't know, Moody. I don't know anything about Lego games. I feel like I don't know about anything about game reviewers. I feel like I don't know anything about AAA games anymore. Is it called Elden Ring? Then I got no fucking idea.
Elden Ring has broken you, like, there's no doubt. It has broken.
That's it. It's gonna do it. 200 episode 299 of the podcast.
Oh wow, we're at 99, and we're gonna go for 300.
I want everybody who listens to this podcast for the next 7 days. I want you gonna have question. What are you doing for your 300th episode? I want you to take that question. I want you to scrunch it up into a tight little ball. And then I want you to shove it up your ass, because this is a news podcast. We're going to do the news. That's what we do. And on that note,
Fair.
after telling my entire audience to shove something up their arse, that's a great place to end. Thanks for joining me, Moody. It's been a blast.
As always, it's a pleasure.
Oh, we're doing a salute this week. Say bye, Moody.
Bye.